Good morning, friends and fellow hunters, and welcome back to the channel. Let's play a short little area today. We're only going to cover the lecture building that heads towards either the Nightmare Frontier or the Nightmare of Mensis. Let's get into it.
Why are you running?
Like I said, this area leads towards either the Nightmare of Mensis or the Nightmare Frontier, where you face the amygdala. Now, couple of cool pickups in this thing. There's actually some cool weapons in this place that you can pick up, some arcane weapons. Very interesting little place. This is basically where they studied how to do the, messing around with the blood and all that stuff. And that's kind of why these students kind of looked all funny. This is actually where you encounter Patches the Spider for the first time as well. Just be careful of these guys. They're not typically that hard to fight. They can be a handful. They start chucking. To me, it looks like they're throwing water at you, but I'm not really sure what that substance is that they're throwing at you. But yeah, there's a lot of hidden little doors in this place. This is actually where you find one of the communion ruins as well. This little door is at the top of... We're going to have to go to that area there, where all those enemies are situated, to go and pick up one of the clothing sets, the student clothing sets. Whenever you come to this area, just explore it to the best of your ability and stuff. Like I say, it's not very hard. It just basically leads you to those two main areas. Mensis, we fight Mikulash, and then later Mogo's Witness. Or if you go to the Nightmare Frontier, where you fight the amygdala, very big area. There's actually a blood chunk hidden here on the other side of the balcony. Be sure to light both the lanterns. This one is on the second floor. The second floor is where you go to main system. The first floor is where you go to the amygdala. So if you want to go to either of those places and you haven't lit the lanterns in those specific areas, you can always come back to these lanterns. Like I said, there's a blood chunk there over there in the corner. These guys seriously got messed up with whatever they were messing with. I do like the look of this area. It kind of reminds me of a very old science lab, mystique, smell of wood, chemicals and all that stuff. I think there's actually a guy hanging on the ceiling here. We're going to need to get down there and get that key on that chair as well. Yeah, there he is. He's just hanging around. You can just take him down with a gun. You'll fight him later. Now behind that door in the foreground there, this is where you find one of the communion stones, which actually grant you more blood vials. There's 5 of them in the game. This is one of them. I can't remember which one this is, but obviously I'm picking up a madman's knowledge because I have done it before. But if it's your first time, you'll find one of the communion ruins there. So you can just head back this way. I forgot, did I check? I'm just going to get rid of this giant. He can also be a pain. He's kind of guarding that opening that leads to the first floor. He can be a handful. Just, hit him and circle around him as much as you can. Down there is where we're going to find Patches the Spider. Okay, let me open up this door. I think... What was in here? With some messages. Every time you see those little silver spots, it's actually messages telling you of what's to come. It's like a prophecy thing. Of course, this one talks a lot about the amygdala and all that stuff. That's basically what's on this floor. That door leads to the Nightmare of Mensis. We've already covered the Nightmare of Mensis. You can go check that out on the channel. Still have to do a video on the Nightmare Frontier as well. Okay. Different ways of reaching this area. Sometimes you'll, depending on the way you play...
Oh, this cannot be. You cannot be. Oh, how did this come to pass? Now, wait just a moment. Do you think ill of me?
click on, of course, you think ill of him, because the first time he'll give you another cool rune. Stamina rune.
I shared with you a thing most secret. It's plain as a pike staff. Now, say in my heart, you were as a lamb to my God. Well, you weren't to know, and it wasn't for you to know.
Yeah, if you follow his whole quest line, he actually baits you towards the Amygdala to kill you. He's a very deceitful little character, this. He has quite an interesting storyline as well. There are some videos on the channel explaining his full quest line. This video serves only as a guide to what you will find. What you will find in the lecture hall thing. If you kill him there, you're going to pick up a Great One's Wisdom there. Now we're on the first floor, where we need to go and pick up all this other stuff. But come to this door first and light this lantern. Then you can always return to this area. There are a couple of more doors here that we need to check out. Depending on the way you play the game, it's going to take you to this place one way or the other. That's why I say, please go check out the videos on the patches by their quest line. There's the guy we dropped from the roof. We got stuck in the door there for some reason. Okay, we need that key to get into the other lecture room where all those students are sitting there wasting their time. At least here we find one of the very cool student clothing sets. Let's switch into that. Of course, we have to have the Mensa's cage. The other set of the student clothing you find in Bergenworth, the chest where you actually summon Hendrik on the top of the balcony. That's where you find the second student clothing set. I think this is the one that... I'm not sure which one Nikolaj wears. At least we have the cage, so... We're not going to go out that main door just yet. There's some... Be careful, there's a guy on the roof there, so... Run past those lights first and let him drop down. And then go for the lights, otherwise he's going to fall on top of you. And suck the life out of you. Yeah, first we have to go to that main room to go and pick up... Where did this door go? Forgot now. Oh yeah, there's actually a chalice consumable here, some red jelly that you're going to need to gain access to one of the chalices as well. There's 2 of them over there. You're going to need, I think, 4 in the main game. I can't remember where the other ones are currently, but there's 2 of them over there. Door is either on the left or right hand, depending on... There we go. There it is. So you're going to use that key we just picked up to open up this place. Now you can go in there, axes swinging, all that stuff. That's not recommended if it's your first time playing, because you might get killed. This is a very cool first time farmer spot if you want to farm for ruins and stuff, because these guys just keep on coming to the door, and if you have a weapon that has a long range to it, you can just use it to, you know, just... They can still hit you, of course, but yeah, you can make some decent ruins here. This is actually how I upgraded my main character when I started playing the game years ago. Did it the legit way, you know. I don't know what that stuff is they're throwing at me, but it's gnarly stuff. Okay, so they probably, most of the times, they drop either blood shards or bullets. This one lonely guy didn't get up for the fight, he's just sitting there. And in here you're going to find one of your arcane weapons, the Auger of Abritas. It's the same, that technically shooting thing that Nikolaj uses and that the Choir Hunter uses. That's, so if you have a high enough arcane rating, you can actually use that weapon to your heart's content. Very cool weapon. But that's basically the lecture hall. Both floors. Just a small little transition area, I would say, on how to get to one of those 2 areas, the Nightmare Frontier or the Nightmare of Mensis. I'll see you in the next one, my friends. You guys keep well, stay safe, and let the good blood guide your way. Cheers, my friends.